This is from a mother who has really been working hard at learning and implementing the ridiculously effective parenting training. Her husband is a frightened man who tries to compensate by going to men's support groups and spouting on and on about how men are treated unfairly, not realizing that it actually makes him smaller because he acts like a victim. She said that the children she has several children who are 10 and under, were watching a Disney movie. And he was watching it with them, and he constantly spoke up. I mean, like every few minutes, he would say some snotty thing, like how the female characters are all narcissistic, which he learned in some men's support group. And the male lead was made to look disempowered. That's straight out of a men's group, using a word that, and then he said the men were made to look, and he used a vulgar word that I have never spoken out loud. And he used this with his little girls. I mean, a really foul word describing the men who looked disempowered. And he said that the plot was anti-male and that women were looking for the bigger, better deal. I mean, geez, this was just an endless barrage of hate and victimhood in a room with 3 girls under age 10. It's kind of embarrassing. Terrible example of confident manhood, which is what he's trying to portray, that he's confident, and it just makes him look sillier. Ironically, his behavior would teach his girls to find a similar coward as a partner. That's what he's teaching them. This is what a partner looks like a simpering coward who goes around attacking women and saying men should be stronger, whom the girls would then control, which was exactly what he was complaining about. He doesn't realize he's creating a reality for his girls that he hates. Mom added that she tried to stop him several times, telling him not to talk to the kids about his own insecurities and fears. That's while he was talking to the girls. She says, I was getting pretty angry. She said, what could I have done? Maybe one choice is I could have agreed with him, but that makes my stomach sick. Well, kind of makes my stomach sick too, so no. Second, I could stop the movie. Maybe, but you'd do it while you were angry, because you were angry at the time that it happened. So the effect would be that the kids would just see their parents fighting like 2 brats in the schoolyard. That's not going to work. 3, she said, I could leave the room where they're watching the movie. No, don't do that. It would leave him alone in the room as the sole parent, teaching them horrible principles and examples. And they're your children too, so no. But I will describe some options, and they change with circumstances. So I'm just going to kind of offer them fluidly. I'm increasing your choices, that's all, which then you have to make. I can't make them for you, but it can't keep going like this. This is awful. First thing, calm. If you're upset, you're done. You're dead. Everything you say will be a bad example for the girls, will make your husband unhappy, you unhappy, the whole family's miserable. If you're the slightest bit agitated, you lose. It will turn into a fight. So here's one choice. Stop the movie. Now, I know you suggested that, but remember, with calm. When do you stop the movie? You didn't get you didn't understand this part either. The instant he makes the first negative comment, boom, you turn the movie off. Not after half an hour of him giving an anti-feminist diatribe. Then you reach over and you touch his arm gently, lovingly, and you ask him to come into the next room. Then in the next room, you say to him, now I'm going to say this in quotes. You don't have to say these exact words, but so you know I'm saying what you would say. You say, quote, I'm not telling you what to do. Oh, you say that, it almost just lets the hot air out of him. I'm not telling you that you're bad. Oh, you're relaxing him again. You say, I am telling you that the kids are trying to have fun watching a movie, just fun. And they can't do that while you're making negative comments about the characters. It's hurting them more than you know. End quote. Now, in this way, what are you doing? You're giving him information. It is hurting the kids. It's interfering with their fun. I'm not telling you what to do. You're giving him information, not judgments about him. You're such a terrible parent. You're such a bad father. You shouldn't do. No, those are judgments. This is information. Mom says, I kept telling him to be quiet and that he was showing the kids how not to be a man in his behavior. Yeah, well, that's outright attacking him in front of the kids, and he could never hear that. Never. He already feels like a weak, frightened little boy. And for you to make him feel smaller in front of the girls, well, actually anywhere, he couldn't take it. He's already declaring that he's afraid of women. And here he is in a room with 4 of them. If you criticize him, you'll only make it worse, especially in front of the kids. What I just suggested that you might say, touch him, take him into the next room, is just a description of what he's doing. It's information. Now, more options, so you have more confidence. I'm not giving you more options because I need you to do a particular thing. Options, confidence. What if he goes back into the room after you've talked to him and he makes more negative comments? Now remember, I suggested you interrupt at the first critical word, not after a 10-minute lecture. Do it again. Just turn the television off. You might have to stop the movie more than once. Almost all men will catch on to this and stop because they're just the right amount of embarrassed, not shamed, just a little, boy, I'm really looking like a jerk. Yeah, you are. Now, what if he catches on to this and he refuses to go into the next room with you? That's a possibility. You might have to stop the movie and tell the kids that you'll have to watch the movie at another time. Don't give a reason that would blame him. He will get the point. He'll know why you're stopping the movie. It's because of him. And when he says why, and you just go, we'll just watch it at a more convenient time. But he'll know. You will have given him the message without shaming him. He'll be embarrassed without you directly criticizing him. If you have to try watching this particular movie several times, fine. Because he will listen more and more if you're not snotty. You've got to be calm. He can't be allowed to keep acting like this. And I gave the writer of this message to me, I gave her the name of another mother who's doing the parenting training, who's had similar problems with her husband. So she could hear what had worked and what hadn't. So now she has a partner in understanding this, a woman who not only understands real love and has children, but who has a husband much like hers, very much like, actually. Mom said, I'm trying to see my part in this negative interaction. I felt unsafe, so I responded by attacking him. Yes, correct. She continued, he's working from home for a couple of weeks and things are kind of heating up with him constantly being around. And they always do because we used to be so entrenched, he and I, in trading imitation love. And now we just don't connect as well. Hence the need for you being absolutely consistent in your loving and teaching the kids and stopping his lectures and his nastiness with them. It's actually bullying, but you have to do it kindly. Mom says, he told me just before he went to bed that I need to give him time. Ooh, he's listening. That he's growing up and that it's rough in the beginning and that he's doing better than where he was 2 years ago. Oh, hallelujah. This is really big. No kidding. I'm going to translate this for you because you may not have gotten it. Men don't express their feelings very well. I need you to give me some time. I'm still growing up. He was admitting that he was wrong in his own little way. Imperfectly admitted, but who cares? So what can you do? You thank him for saying that to you. Really, thank him for trying. He needs it. He feels like a small person. Also tell him that what you'll be doing when he makes comments in the future during a movie or otherwise. You will remove him from the kids and talk to him, or you'll remove the kids from the room. So he has a choice. The kids can leave or he can leave. They simply cannot hear him talk like that. And express gratitude for his cooperation in this. Gratitude. Don't pound him. Don't be mad at him. Mom says, he told me that he's been badly treated all of his life by the women in his life. Gee, no kidding. And he's not going to stand for it, and he's drawing a boundary. Well, I agree that all that was true in his life, and that sometimes what I'm suggesting is you agree with him that all of that was true in his life, and that sometimes you were one of those unkind women. But tell him that all that was in the past, and his problems are not with women now. That was in the past when he was a boy. It turns out almost all those experiences was from his mother and sisters. Now he's reacting to the past. And the solution is for him to feel more loved and to make his own decisions instead of just reacting to his past. And that you're learning to love him so that that doesn't keep happening. Then let it go. Because he'll only listen a little bit. But he will listen some, and that matters. Loving and teaching in the presence of an uncooperative and even combative partner can be difficult. But you can learn to do it. Okay.